Hi, my name is Zoe, and this is my dog Miso. A year ago, I decided to move to the countryside of Japan to pursue my dream of becoming a full-time artist. Here are snippets of my day-to-day life. I hope you enjoy. So I've just been back in Japan for the last 2 days, but I kind of had to go straight back into it with working and stuff. So I haven't really had much time to unload, but I kind of restocked the fridge yesterday and got all that intact. So today I am going to tackle unpacking and my washing finally, before I just take 2 days this weekend to literally just chill and relax, because I feel like I just haven't stopped. And I kind of went into this like time warp when I went back to Australia. It was just pretty much 10 days of me just being super busy and getting heaps of stuff done. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. I literally just feel like I've been in like a glitch of time. But yeah, it's really nice in Japan at the moment. So we are kind of like 2 weeks until spring starts, but it already seems like spring is kind of here. The birds are starting to be heard around the neighbourhood, and it's pretty sunny and warm. So I'm really lucky, because about 2 days before I came home, it was like the most craziest snow we've had here, and it actually like piled up quite a bit. So I'm really glad I didn't have to go from like peak summer to that. This kind of warm spring weather with just a little bit of cool air is kind of like perfect to acclimatize to. But yeah, I'm just gonna be doing life admin for the rest of today. I gotta do washing, unpacking, and then if I do have time, I would also like to I just like from making the tie-dye dress the day before I left. My work room is just like a bomb right now. So I would like to also kind of clean that out and just give it a bit of tender love and care like you need to. But yeah, I am just gonna have a little bit of a break now while I put my washing on and wait for that. I also was meaning to get like footage of the beach and, you know, all this cool stuff in Australia for you guys, but honestly, I was just so busy. Like, I literally only got to go to the beach the day before I was leaving. I went for a beach walk the morning of my first flight back home. So yeah, I just was way too busy and just didn't leave enough like days in between to kind of rest. But I mean, I did get a $500 flight back with Singapore, which is like kind of unheard of for a one-way. Usually have paid like 800 to 1,000 just for a one-way. They usually give you the return trip for free. So that's kind of why I ended up going for only 10 days instead of like 15. But yeah, you know, things happen. So I finally finished unpacking and I have my last load of washing in now. But I just wanted to take a little minute to kind of talk about something. So when I was on the plane home, I ended up watching this documentary by the glucose goddess. Her name is Jessie, but it was a really interesting series. She basically talked about the importance to keeping your blood sugar stable and how that benefits your long-term health. And for me, I have had like quite the health debacle over the last 10 years or so, and kind of the last thing I've been wanting to improve, but kind of not really sure how without completely avoiding sugar at all, is like to improve my blood sugar. Now, of course, like having a high protein diet is super important, but other than that, like when I went to a new naturopath when I was like really unwell and my gut was completely ruined, I went to her, and basically her advice was just like meat and veg, don't eat sugar ever. And yeah, I don't know, it's just really not sustainable in this day and age. Like, I still want to be able to have a sweet treat here and there, but without it completely ruining me. So I mean, just something I've noticed, because I did do her diet for a long time and I completely gave up sugar. It was like after about 6 to 8 months, I just started going insane. And although it did help me in the short term with my gut and everything, like, you know, I had a parasite, and obviously parasites feed off sugar. So by not eating it, I was just able to naturally kill it and get rid of it without having to take any like heavy drugs or anything, which was great. But yeah, it's just like not feasible for me, especially as someone who loves cooking and especially loves making sweets. So, I mean, the great thing about watching the Glucose Goddess documentary was basically just by using this little hack of having some vinegar before eating. She recommends like 1 tablespoon of like vinegar into a cup of water and just drinking that through a straw, because obviously it's gonna screw up your teeth a bit because of the acid in it. But yeah, I've just been doing that for like the last 2 days. And for me, a big thing is I have to eat breakfast to keep my blood sugar stable, but I also don't have a very large appetite in the morning. So I feel like really like nauseous and like I want to vomit if I eat a big meal in the morning, but I need the big meal to kind of keep me stable until lunch. So I have just been doing that. The first day I did it, I didn't want to drink a giant cup of water because I didn't have much time, and I just ended up kind of like shotting some white vinegar, and that really upset my stomach and made me feel really nauseous and gross. But by lunchtime, I noticed that, so the thing with my blood sugar at the moment is that if I get really hungry, I get really bad headache and then just like brain fog. It used to be a lot worse when my health was worse, but sorry, my throat's just like so dry at the moment with this winter weather. So I just keep having a dry cough. But yeah, pretty much with my blood sugar, it's like I get the headache if I'm hungry, which is from the crash, and then also like brain fog, but just in a sense where like I can have like a really easy kind of like not deep conversation and I can go like that. But if you ask me anything that requires me to think about, it would kind of make me struggle and I wouldn't be able to do it until I like ate something, because my brain would just be like, nah. Yeah, my main goal is just to basically get rid of the headaches between meals, make it so that I am like full enough between meals that I am functioning and able to just go through my life, and then yeah, also just like less fluctuations in my mood and stuff, because yeah, when the blood sugar starts dropping, I just like really feel awful. So I'm doing this kind of experiment. In her documentary, she just basically has these 10 hacks that she gives to people. They're all on her website, so if you want to check it out, just type into Google like Glucose Goddess or whatever. And basically I'm just gonna kind of go through her principles for the next 6 weeks and see how it affects me. So yeah, I'm basically just going to follow her 10 hacks over the next 6 weeks, which includes drinking the vinegar water and then eating your food with veggies, protein, and then fats and carbs kind of towards the end. So like going in that, but then also not having your carbs just by themselves, making sure that they've got a bit of everything in them. So I mean, the naturopath I used to go to would always say, start with your protein so then your body knows that it's getting the energy. So I've been doing that for a long time, but I've kind of like just been feeling for my body anyway, because everybody's body is like so different. So the high protein thing was working for a while, but it's still just, I've got these like headaches and it's like got something to do with my blood sugar. So I'm gonna just give the vinegar thing. It's already like the first day I did the shot and it didn't work, but this morning when I woke up, I was actually quite hungry and I didn't get any nausea after I ate, and I actually had like a 3-egg omelette, which is like a really big deal for me. Usually I have like 1 or 2 eggs in the morning and then I feel like really nauseous and queasy just from like my body just being like, no, I don't want to eat yet. So yeah, after just 2 days, I'm already kind of feeling better. So it'll be interesting to see what the full 6 weeks is. I'm just going to pull out my phone now and check. So let me see. So yeah, I've pretty much been starting this since Wednesday the 11th. So by Wednesday the 11th of March, well, that's only 4 weeks, whoops. So we want pretty much by the end of March to see how I'm going with this and kind of if my life's improved, because I mean the main thing for her as well was that she noticed a direct link between mood and having a stable blood sugar. And for me, like definitely in my cycle, I noticed tiredness and mood problems after ovulation. So it would be great as well if those improved. I'm kind of like just before my cycle at the moment and I've been noticing a little bit of just like, since I've been to Australia, just a bit of like acne kind of coming through this side of my face at the moment. So, I mean, it's not really super accurate when it's just before my period, but you know, it'll just be interesting to see what happens by the end of March. So I'll keep you guys posted with that. And yeah, it's just like super easy. I'm not really changing my diet at all. I already eat very healthy, just kind of the order. I was very surprised that we do the vegetables first and then just putting the like balsamic white vinegar on them just to kind of strengthen the stomach acid. I just got a delivery from Amazon, so I ordered these muffin tins, a 1 kilo feta cheese, which was actually a fairly decent price for Japan. I also got this organic apple cider vinegar, which is from New Zealand, and it tastes really good. So this is my little like drink that I'm going to be drinking at the moment with my straw before my meals. Basically I'm just making like a quick breakfast muffin. So in this pan I've just sauteed up like a leek and some garlic eyes is what they're called in English. I'm not quite sure what the translation is. I'll have to look that up. It's called ninniku no me. But anyway, it just gives it that really nice garlicky flavor, but they basically kind of look like spring onions. I also just have a red capsicum in there too. So I'm basically just gonna put that into these muffins. I got nice big ones, so hopefully that it will be my like 20 to 30 grams of protein for breakfast, because I'm just not really a morning person and always stumped for time during the week. So I thought if I can just make up these and then like kind of reheat it lightly in the morning, it will do me way better. So yeah, I'm just gonna put a bit of this with the feta cheese in and then some eggs, and then I'm going to bake them in the oven for like 20 minutes, and I've just preheated to 170 at the moment. I'm just starting off with 6 eggs with some salt and pepper and some dried basil, as it is not available fresh yet unless it's summer. This is what I'm looking like with 6 eggs, so I reckon if I go another 2 they should all be pretty filled to the top, and then hopefully they'll like puff up and stuff. I've also just given them a bit of a mix so that the feta and the veggies are kind of spread evenly. Alright, and here's what we're looking like after 8 eggs, 200 grams of feta, 1 red capsicum, 1 leek stalk, and like half a packet of garlic eyes, whatever they are called. Now I'm just going to bake them for like 15 minutes and see how they go, because it's always better to kind of slightly undercook egg so it doesn't go all rubbery and gross. So let's chuck them in the oven now. So here's my little baking experiment. In the oven they go. And let's put this on for 15 minutes to start with. And see what happens. So here are my muffins. I ended up doing 24 minutes roughly at 170. As you can see, they're quite spongy. This bit here still looks a bit raw, but I kind of don't want the other ones to overcook. So I'm just going to let them cool in their thing and then kind of like remove them from the molds and see what happens. They are quite large molds, so the recipe said like 18 to 20 minutes, but these have been going for like 24 minutes. Here we have one of the muffins. I've just taken it out. It looks pretty good. They did like shrink back in a little bit. They're still a bit warm though, but I just wanted to check that they weren't raw because they shrunk down. It kind of scared me a little bit. Anyway, let's give it a little slice open and see what all the fun is about. Oh my god, yeah. Now it's time for our little taste test. It already smells so good. Oh my god. Tastes amazing. All I did was season it with salt and pepper, but the feta just makes it next level. Like, oh, I'm so excited to have these for breakfast. At breakfast today, I decided to have 2 muffins because I think that will be closer to like 30 grams of protein. I actually noticed even just after 2 days, I am like right before my period. So at this time, all my skin along here, I have all these like pimples that came through, but they have all kind of flattened out and started going away just 2 days after the vinegar, which I think is insane because yeah, I'm right before my period as well, and usually at this time they would just get bigger and more and just gross until after my period. So yeah, I definitely feel like the vinegar is doing something good for me. But yeah, we'll have to stay tuned until the end of March to see the full results. So I've just finished breakfast and it's time to take Miso for her walk. She's been very restless this whole time, so Miso, let's go! Let's go! Oswariwa! Good girl! Good girl! Matte! Matteo! Ikya! And she's off. So it is already feeling like spring is here. If you can hear in the background all the noises of the birds. There's one specific bird. It is called uisu in Japanese. I'll have to double check what it is in English and put it on the screen. But it's the one in the background that goes woo woo like that, and you can hear it, and basically that's when you know spring is around the corner, is when you hear this noise. So it's actually really nice and warm here today. I think it's a top of 14 degrees, but when I checked it was 7 degrees this morning. It said it felt like 12 degrees already or something like that. So it is actually really nice here today, but it's kind of that thing where the air still has a bit of a chill crisp to it. So, I mean, in the past when I've lived here, I've always got excited by the heat and then worn like super lightweight clothes and ended up catching a cold because of the wind. So that is why I am still keeping the scarf on. But I mean, considering what I've been wearing for the last couple of weeks, this is definitely like a very light kind of clothing choice. I've just got like windbreakery kind of things on and not like 10 different jackets. So it's definitely good, nice weather here. So this is another first sight of spring. This is the plum tree where I come to get my umes to make umeboshi and plum jam. And this is the first kind of flowers. You can see the rest of the tree is still pretty bare, but there are the first few flowers. A lot of people confuse these for sakura, the cherry blossoms, but it's usually the plums that flower first and then the cherry blossoms next. Someone was dragging me away. She did not want to stand there and wait to film that. So as I was saying, we can expect that in the next month or so there will probably be cherry blossoms in Japan. So I feel like they're going to be on the earlier side this year. The first time I came to Japan to see them, they were late and they literally started blooming like the day before my flight home. So I was so sad. I spent so much extra money because the tickets are more expensive at that time and I barely even got to see them. But the year after, when I moved to Japan, I did get the best little cherry blossoms and I got some really nice photos. So I'll put them up here for you guys as well to see. This was in like 2018, so it was the first year that I lived in Japan when I lived in Nagoya. But yeah, I'm really excited and I'm just so happy that the weather is so nice today and it just seems like the whole struggle of winter is finally over. I don't know, winter in the countryside is just so much more like rough. You really have to brace for it. I mean, unless you lived in like a modern house, but yeah, living in like a really old house in the middle of winter, you definitely feel the harshness of winter a lot more than if you're living in the city or something. Just simple things like having a bath or making food in the kitchen become like really difficult because it's so cold. And yeah, just I'm just so happy. Like I feel like I've just been in a bit of a cocoon since the winter and I am ready to evolve and become a beautiful spring butterfly floating around and doing some more stuff and hopefully getting into some more dyeing because yeah, it's just been too cold to do anything. And my husband's been saying the same thing with his ceramic practice. He has definitely just like not had any motivation because
just touching the clay on the wheel is like so cold because it's wet. So yeah, we're both super excited for spring.